Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to go a little bit more in depth when it comes to real estate specifically, and we're going to go over what is actually happening currently in the real estate market. As of the time of this recording, we're currently in July 2024, and the real estate market has really pulled the reins back on what was happening in comparison to what was happening about a year ago at the same time. Now, something that I always feel, because I'm a seller of a lot of retail properties, right? I buy wholesale properties, I fix them up, I turn around, I put them on the market. Well, those retail properties that I put up for sale starting to sit a lot longer than they were sitting a year ago, 2 years ago, etc. Now, the reason why a lot of that is happening is because I personally believe there is a lot of uncertainty when it comes to what's happening in our elections, right? Elections coming up in about, 4 months from now? July, August, September, October. Oh, I can't count. So it's actually going to be in November. Some people are saying, if Biden wins, I'm leaving the country. If Trump wins, I'm leaving the country. I don't see how that's actually possible because unless you have a visa, you're going to be staying right here. But I just think that when it comes to the real estate market, that the politics of what's going on right now, and I hate talking politics, but I do think politics are playing a role, right? So depending on what ends up happening come November, I think that's really going to determine what people decide to do real estate wise, because they're a little concerned as far as where they put their dollars. Now, when it comes to the following year, once everything is all settled, I do think it'll pick back up again. Now, the reason why I think it'll pick back up again, because outside of the election, everything else is pretty status quo. Interest rates are being where they are for the last, year plus. When it comes to the properties that are currently available, a lot more properties are available, so it's becoming more of a balanced market that we're currently in. But I do think that is, again, part of the fact that some people are just pulling back the reins on the buyers because there aren't as many buyers as there once were some time before. Now, if I do I think that the current real estate market is going to change regardless of who becomes president? I do. And I think that's just because people just live in a perpetual state of fear, and that fear causes them to not spend money. It happens all the time. Or people would just buy things on impulse because they're not really considering the fact that no matter who is the president, they're still going to be living in this country. Now, when it comes to Trump winning, is it going to affect the real estate market a little bit different than if Biden wins? I think so. How so? Nobody actually has an answer to that. No one's got a crystal ball, but I do think that people are waiting to find out which one of these two are actually going to be going into office so that they can make a determination as to what they're going to buy. Now, the people who are affected right now, people who are looking for properties right now, if you are someone that's on the market and you're a buyer and you're looking to buy, let me tell you, this is such a fantastic time to buy. If somebody were to make me an offer on some of the properties I'm currently working at, I would work with them to get it sold because I have a little bit too much inventory. So if you are someone that's out there and you've been sitting on the fence forever, let me tell you, this is a great time. Don't waste it waiting to see what happens, right? Something that I love that I got from Warren Buffett. He says, when everyone's running one way, you should be running the opposite. And it's true when it comes to investments and all things related to it, because it's such a great time to buy. I think that if you were to lock down your interest rate, let's say somewhere around 7.5%, is it wonderful? It's not. But you can get a great price on the property. They always say, date the rate, marry the house. So if you were to get that property under contract and you were to buy it, let's say you're at 7%. Let's say you're at 8%. But in 2 years, 3 years, when the market has started to settle a little bit, interest rates come down. How much it's going to come down is undetermined. But let's say that interest rate drops from 8% down to 4%. You could literally cut your bill in half and still be in the same house that you're in today. Now, what happens? Let's say those interest rates cuts to 4% next year. What ends up happening to that house? That price is going to skyrocket because now you have widened up the pool of people who are available to buy that property. Right now, the pool is small because interest rates are high. The buying power of your dollar is a lot smaller. So when your buying power is a lot smaller, you can't afford something that's really expensive. But what you can do is buy something that's within your means, wait for that rate to drop down, and now it's even more in your means. So if you're an investor looking for investment properties, you are now putting that much more money in your pocket than it would be if your rate is high and you're just paying your standard mortgage. Another thing that's really important to think about when it comes to the real estate market right now is what's going to happen over the next 6 months and then what's going to happen over the next year. Now, if you are someone who's been waiting around for interest rates to come down, like most of us, right? There was a prediction that interest interest rates were going to drop down to about 5% because it's an election year. That did not happen. Instead, we actually kind of had the inverse. It kind of ticked up just a little bit. And I think that's also playing a big role as to why a lot of people aren't buying. Jerome Powell, who is the Federal Reserve Chair, just said as of recently that we may start to see a little bit of a change because we have unemployment has just risen now to 4%. And we also are starting to see a slow in the job market. Now, when that happens, typically you're going to see interest rates come down. Again, as interest rates come down, prices typically go up. So again, I really want to put a lot of stress and emphasis. If you have the opportunity and the numbers make sense, buy it, because you may not have a great opportunity like you do right now. Okay, if you guys are really interested in finding out more information just like this and learning more about the real estate market and what's happening, especially in your area, comment the word real estate down below, and I'm going to make more content just like this.